occurs. Everything happens within each cell that has these chloroplasts in it. In C4 photosynthesis, the chemistry is divided between some cells do the dark phase and some cells do the light phase. You see, half of the photosynthetic process actually requires the light, and another half, I'm going to call it half, another portion of it doesn't require light at all. And what C4 photosynthesis does, it divides the responsibility. It divides the light portion of it in some cells and the dark portion of it in other cells, puts them in different places in the leaf at different places with respect to where the openings are for carbon dioxide to come into the leaf with respect to the stomata. So it requires a different design of the leaf. It requires a different design of the cells. It requires a different design of the chemistry in the cells. It's a huge difference between C3 photosynthesis and C4 photosynthesis at least 3 different levels of biological organization. It's really cool stuff, okay? Really complex system. But here's a genus of plants, and there are 16 other families of plants that do this, where different species in the same genus are C3 and C4. And then there are crosses between them that are half C3 and half C4. They do both C3 and C4. Some cells do the entire process, other cells combine it. And so here you have C3 over here in the greens, and C3, C4 in the light blues, and C4 in the blues. And look at their distribution. All the C3s, except one, which we suspect is a misidentification, is actually in Central America. And then you have C3, C4 in between them and a C4, and then C4 down here in South America. There's evidence that the oldest species are right here. They diversified outward, producing C4 photosynthesis in that same created kind because you can cross the C3 and C4. So these are in the same created kind with 2 very different chemistries going on. Wildly different chemistries. And again, as I said, this is happening in 16 different plant groups. So C3, C4 photosynthesis is mixed and in the same created kind in at least 16 different instances in the fossil record, in the modern biological world. These things also in biological character space are in an interesting, in 3-dimensional, when you consider all the characters that define the plant and put them into that many dimensions of character space, and then project those multi-dimensions onto 3 so that you can kind of visualize it, and then onto 2 so that you can throw it up on a board. It ends up that they're all in multi-dimensional character space. They're all in this kind of weird oblong arc. And the C3, C4 are in the middle of the arc, C3 at the one end of the arc, C4 at the other. It actually indicates that in the development of species, the species through time changed towards the C4. They moved through character space. Not just the C4, C3 stuff changed, but other parts of the plant changed so that the entire organism moved through, evolved through character space. Fascinating stuff. Change is rapid. Again, we estimate less than 2 centuries. It's a very large change in the sense of lots of chemistry and that sort of thing. It's transbarometric. It's occurring in more than one group at the same time in the world. Same thing is happening in horses. The fossil record of the horses indicates that the character space that the horses are in, all modern horses are sitting up here in a yellow dot right here. Fossil horses are actually in character space in this nice arc. And interestingly enough, the oldest fossils are down here at the bottom in the blue. The next oldest fossils are in the green, and the youngest fossils are in the blue, and of course the modern horses are in the yellow. So there's evidence that after the flood, the horses moved through biological character space. They changed in the horses. The changes were rather large. It's within a created kind. But I don't have time to talk about that. It's moving through character space. It creates a stratomorphic series in the fossil record. It looks like horses are evolving, and they are, but it's within the same created kind. It's rapid change. It's a large change because it's not just the horses are increasing in size. They're increasing or decreasing in the number of toe bones. They're increasing in hypsodonty, which is a design of the teeth. When you're browsing on leaves of the forest, it's one thing. If you're eating grass, which has silica in it, sand in it, you can't have the same teeth. You got to have a very different teeth design to live on grass. To go from browsing to grazing requires a humongous change, or else you grind all your teeth down to the roots, and it ain't pretty. Don't feel good either. So this increase in what we call hypsodonty, which is a different kind of tooth designed for eating grass, occurs in horses. That's big. And the horses are increasing in size as the temperature of the continent is decreasing, and it becomes more and more advantageous to be big. The horses are increasing in size. As the earth is drying and grasslands are expanding and woods are contracting, the horses go from eating the plants of the forest to plants of the grassland. And as the ecosystem opens up, so you're not just wandering between trees, but now you can run across grasslands, you develop a completely different gait. The gait of the horse is unique. It's a design built into the design of the whole horse that the little horses don't have. The old horses, the horses down here soon after the flood don't have. And it's transbarometric. The same thing is happening in the